Hello, Magda.
Good evening, teacher.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, teacher. I I can't arrive at time in the encounter because in my school had a meeting and today we leave from work very late.
Okay, Magda. Well, you can watch the video of the encounter. I will upload it tonight to YouTube. So by tomorrow morning, you will have access to the video.
Okay, teacher, thank you. My mates told me that we had a problem with our homework because we didn't answer the investigation question.
Well, yeah, but it was not a problem. If you confuse, I mean, the students in the group confuse two ways of analyzing the data. When you analyze the intention of the speaker, you say, for example, the person asked the question in order um, to find out a student's previous knowledge on the topic of learning objects, for example. That code is asking for or is related to the intention of the speaker. That the research question was a student's evaluation of the learning object. So the evaluation regarding the visual aids, the forms, the videos, the suggestions. So when you analyze the data, you need to take into account the question so that the codes can answer the question.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay. Well, but you will see that in the video if you want to take a look at it.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay. So that when are you going on vacations from the school, Magda?
I didn't understand.
When are the students and you going on vacations?
And I think that the 14th
Uh-huh. The 14th of June?
yes, teacher, of June. 14th of June.
Okay. Well,
It's only 15 days anymore.
15 days more. Uh-huh. Good. And are you going to travel?
I want to travel, but I am very worried because I have an exam. Because I am I am doing also a magister,
A
majesty,
master. A master.
a master, and I have an exam in July. July.
So you have to study a lot.
Yes, teacher. But I need a rest.
Yeah, that's necessary. You have a lot of things.
Yes, teacher. I estoy pensando. I'm thinking about that.
Okay. Well, um, I think we can start to discuss the topic that I planned for tonight. Um, the idea is to practice how to connect sentences in a text. So we can start by reviewing words that are used to connect ideas. So on the screen, you can see some words that are used to connect ideas. If we talk about time, we can use words like the ones that we have here: until, after, before, when, while, since, once, whenever, as soon as long as, by the time. Yes, so do you understand the meaning of all those words?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. We have other words: during, after, before, since, until, upon, and other ones. Then, next, after that, following that, before that, afterwards, meanwhile, and beforehand. And then, do you understand all the words?
Afterwards.
Después de todo. Después.
Beforehand.
Beforehand. Antes que nada.
Entonces, como de antemano.
Podrías decir ante antemano o antes que nada. So those express time, and we can use them to connect ideas in a sentence, to connect two sentences in a paragraph, for example. Here we have more words that are used to express cause and effect, or reason and purpose. So we have because, as, seen, inasmuch as, now that, as long as, such that, such a, so that, so plus adjective or an adverb, so plus much or many or little or few, so that, in order that, because of, due to, in order to, therefore, consequently, so. Okay, is there any word from that list that you don't understand?
Inasmuch as.
Is it here? Okay. Tanto como. Any other?
Teacher is my God. Teacher, such is like tal or, but I don't know find the meaning.
Such es tal, tal como. Such that sería tal.
Tal
¿Tienes
que.
algo más? ¿Qué? Ajá.
Okay.
Porque expresamos causa-consecuencia.
Okay.
I was thinking that inasmuch as it was equal that such as.
Such as. Ok, such as es tal como. Cuando damos un ejemplo. So you can say tourist places in Colombia such as Cabo de la Vela, Tayrona Park. So such as is used to give examples. And the translation is tal como.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Okay. Here we have more that are words that are used to express contrast or opposition. Even though, although, though, in spite of the fact that, while, whereas, where, despite, in spite of, however, nonetheless, nevertheless, on the other hand, in contrast, on the contrary, but, anyway, but, still, yet, still, but. Any question about those words, the meaning?
Whereas, please.
Whereas, what is it here? Mientras que.
Whereas.
In spite of the fact, a pesar de el hecho que.
Teacher, nevertheless.
Sin embargo.
In no one, nonetheless.
The translation would be the same.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Good. I'm going to share this link with you so you can take a look at the list. Here we have words that are used to link two ideas that express a condition. If, unless, even if, provided that, in case, whether or not, only if, otherwise, or. So we have sí, a menos, aunque sí, teniendo en cuenta que, the same as provided that, en caso, sí o no, solo sí. De otro lado, o.
Teacher, we have that square.
Now I'm going to share the link with you. Okay, I'm showing this to you because we're going to do an exercise to use connectors. There you have. In that link, that is a link of the information that I just show you. And now we're going to do an exercise. So here we have an essay, and the idea is to use some connectors to complete the gaps. So this essay is about changing jobs. Is it good to have a new job or to stay in the old job? So this essay presents 2 points of view. The point of view of people who belong to Asia culture and the people who belong to North American culture. So it starts by saying placing high value on loyalty. Loyalty is when you don't change your point of view. You stay. You know, for example, there is a say about dogs. So the say says that dogs are loyal to the owners because they are always next to the owner. They are not going to bite the owner. They are going to give you love. So that's loyal. And loyalty is a noun. So it says that giving high value to loyalty to a company seems to be to benefit more the employer. The employer is the company or the person who gives you the job. And then it says changing jobs every few years might help the employee to build a career. So we are here contrasting two ideas. To stay with the company and benefit the company, or to change the job and then benefit because you will build a career, you will learn if you work in other place. So here we need a conjunction connector to express contrast to different ideas. Here we have the words contrary to, while, for example, and while. So what word can we use in the sentence to express contradiction, opposition? Contrary to, while, or for example.
T
Which one? Which one? Contrary to, while, or for example.
Teacher, contrary to?
Okay, let's see. Placing a high value on loyalty to a company seems to benefit more the employer. Contrary to changing jobs every few years might help the employee to build a career. Okay, if I write here contrary to, could you translate it into Spanish? Carol, please.
Al contrario de cambiar de trabajo cada o en pocos años, podría ayudar a, o podría ayudar, bueno, employee, es como trabajador, teacher.
Sí.
Él podría ayudar al trabajador a construir su carrera o su experiencia, no sé, tener una experiencia.
Okay, so it's possible, right? It's possible to use that word there. Okay, let's continue with the essay. Here we have different cultures place varying values on loyalty to the employer. In some countries, most notably in Asia, there is high degree of loyalty to one company. In most European countries and the United States, loyalty to one's employer is not highly valued. Okay, so far we have here the idea of different cultures, and then one culture is presented, Asia. So what word should I write here? While or for example? So we need to analyze the connection between the first sentence and the second one. Is the connection...
Teacher, for example?
Yeah, so we're gonna give an example. We are not showing contrast or opposition, but an example. The example of the culture, which is Asia. And here, there is high degree of loyalty to one company in Asia. Now, it says, in most European countries and the United States, loyalty to one's employer is not highly valued. So what is the relationship in the ideas? Contradiction, addition, cause and effect.
Teacher, for me, it's like a comparison.
They are comparing Asia with European countries and the United States. In Asia, there is loyalty to the company. In Europe and the United States, loyalty is not highly valued. So they are comparing, exactly. And they are showing opposition, right? So I can write here the word while or other word that expresses opposition. Same here, we have Asians, Europeans, consider more rational and reasonable for an employee to change jobs whenever it is warranted to achieve the optimal overall career. Both of these positions have advantages and disadvantages. So what is the relationship in the sentences here? Example, addition, contradiction, cause and effect.
Contradiction, teacher.
Contradiction, right. So we could, here we have options, right? We have contrary, while, for example, or while. So I cannot use it again while here because the translation will be mientras asiáticos, europeos consideran. So it's not possible. It will be contrary to. Will be contrario a los asiáticos, los europeos. But let's suppose that I don't have options. I can use other word from the list that we read, and we could write here opposite to, Asians, Europeans consider, and the translation will be opuesto a los asiáticos, los europeos consideran más racional y razonable para un empleado cambiar trabajos cuando es asegurado alcanzar una óptima carrera. If I want to use only the options that I have here, I could change here and I could write contrary to, contrario a los asiáticos, los europeos, and here I could use while. Dar un valor alto a la lealtad a una compañía parece beneficiar más el empleador, mientras cambiar trabajos cada algunos años podría ayudar a los empleados a construir una carrera. Okay, so since we are expressing contradiction, we can use contrary to here or here or here. Yes? Because they belong to the same group of words that are used to express contradiction. You have questions? La idea siempre es mirar cuál es la relación entre la primera oración y la segunda oración, para poder mirar si es una relación que expresa causa y efecto, ejemplo, contradicción, estoy añadiendo una idea. Y así puedo decidir qué palabra pongo acá, dentro del listado que ya leímos. Okay, so let's practice. Let's practice more. Here we have, this is an essay, right? So here it says that both points of view have advantages and disadvantages. So it means that here in the second part of the second paragraph, we are going to find out, let's see, or benefits or disadvantages. Let's see, it says, in cultures that value loyalty to the employer, a kind of family relationship seems to develop between employer and employee. It is a reciprocal arrangement and the employer is concerned with assisting the employee to develop to his/her full potential, and the employee is concerned about optimizing the welfare of the company. Now, the negative aspect to absolute loyalty to one company is that an employee may stay in one job that she probably outgrows and may miss out on opportunities to develop in new directions. From the employer's point of view, the company should have employees whose skills no longer exceed the needs of the company. So in this paragraph, we have first an advantage and then a disadvantage. And the possibilities to complete are however, which is a word that expresses an idea that is contradictory to the first one. The translation is sin embargo. It's similar to but. If you say however or but, pero are similar. Besides that is a word that expresses addition of ideas. So that if you are given a list of disadvantages, you can introduce the second disadvantage with the word besides that, because you are adding information. Or if you are listing advantages, the same. The translation will be además de eso. Consequently, expresses consequence, right? So which word should I use in 1, in 2, and in 3?
Teacher, in the first one, consequently.
Let's see. No, look at the other two gaps, because I cannot use the missing words in the other two gaps. If I write it consequently here, I need to write besides that and however in one of these two, and it's not possible.
It could be besides that.
Yeah. So the one idea is that loyalty is concerned with family relationships. If I am loyal, I create a family relationship with my boss. In addition to that reciprocal arrangement, in addition to that, the employer, the worker needs to be a very good worker so that the company or the employee is gonna benefit. So besides that. What about number 2?
Share a however.
However,
Yes.
right? So in number 3, we will have consequently. So who wants to translate this paragraph into Spanish?
Sin embargo, los aspectos negativos son absolutamente... Teacher, I don't understand the meaning of loyalty. It's like no cambiar de forma de pensar.
Lealtad.
Ah, ok. Sin embargo, los aspectos negativos son absolutamente leales a la compañía. Es que un empleado puede estar en el trabajo probablemente. Teacher, what does mean outrules?
Outgrowth means that it is that you have more skills for that job. that is very easy for you. So the
Ok, probablemente sea fácil y pueda extrañar oportunidades adicionales para desarrollar nuevas direcciones o nuevos caminos.
That is the negative aspect of staying in one company. Okay. And the translation of the last sentence.
En consecuencia, el punto de vista de los empleadores, la compañía debería tener empleados con, no con muchas habilidades, algo así, que no excedan, sí, no con muchas habilidades, algo así de que necesite la compañía.
Exactly. So if the person has a lot of skills and more than what is needed for the job, then it's not going to be good either for the company or for the person. Good. Now let's see the last paragraph. The options that we have are as long as, however, but, and thus. So you know that but and however express opposition, opposite ideas. As long as expresses time. As long as could be translated as mientras que no. Desde que tal cosa. As long as, desde que. However and but, to express opposition, and thus, to express consequence. The translation of thus is así. Okay, so please read the paragraph and tell me what are the words that you use in each gap.
Teacher in the first school be does.
¿Quieres comer? Okay.
So what can we write in 2, 3, and 4?
I think in 2 it could be however, in 3 as long as.
If we write however here, the translation will be, sin embargo, buenas relaciones existen y la carrera del empleado está avanzando de una forma aceptable, el empleado puede permanecer en la compañía.
So teacher, as long as the second.
Okay, so
And in the tier could be but.
Or however.
okay, the same as in 4, right? Because but and however express the same relationship, they can be used in both gaps. Somebody who wants to translate the paragraph, please.
¿Three? ¿Three paragraph?
Yes, or the first 2 sentences until here.
En culturas es bastante o muy aceptable cambiar trabajos cada
¿Cada cuántos años?
cada cuántos años. Empleadores pueden construir una carrera donde que ellos escojan para ellos mismos.
Yes, los empleados.
Ellos pueden permanecer con una de las compañías tanto tiempo como o desde que haya beneficios mutuos para la compañía y el empleado.
Muy bien. So this idea is expressing the consequence, right? Or is supporting the same idea that is in the first sentence. Hay culturas en las que eso es aceptable, estar cambiando de trabajos. Entonces, para reiterar esa idea, decimos así, los empleados pueden permanecer en una compañía tanto como un beneficio mutuo entre compañía y empleado. Okay, now sentence 3 until here, until number 3.
Teacher, desde que exista una buena relación desde que exista una buena relación y la carrera de los empleados avance a un paso aceptable, el empleado puede permanecer con la compañía, pero al mismo tiempo los empleados están libres de irse a otra compañía. Perhaps creo que es, bueno, tal vez podrían lograr una mayor posición moviéndose a una nueva área o encontrando un trabajo o situación que sea más confortable para ellos o más personal.
Para que sea más adecuado para tu personalidad.
Okay.
Muy bien. ¿Y la última oración?
Pero la desventaja de esta situación es que los empleados tienden
Exactly.
Tienden a moverse alrededor de mucho, tienden a moverse mucho y pueden afectar el proceso de la compañía desde que el nuevo empleado puede tomar algún tiempo para, o sea, si pueden afectar el proceso de la compañía, em, digámoslo así, mientras el nuevo empleado toma algo de tiempo para desarrollar las habilidades necesarias para desempeñarse bien.
Exactly. That's the idea. Very good. Okay. Now we have the conclusion of the essay. And we have the words which, in summary, and on the contrary. So this is to summarize information, to express contradiction, and which is to express el cual o lo cual. So what words do we write in each gap?
What means in summary, teacher?
Yes, in summary. Then
Share wish
exactly.
in the second.
Yes. And then on the contrary, right? And the translation?
En resumen, parece que en las culturas, en esas culturas se valora la lealtad a la compañía. Los empleadores obtienen, consiguen grandes beneficios.
Ujú. Ese gran beneficio es el cual es
¿Cuál es el bienestar de la compañía en sus procesos?
exacto. And the last sentence?
On the contrary,
Ujú.
¿sí? Al
Sí,
contrario, al contrario, parece que en culturas en las cuales el cambio de trabajo es aceptable, los empleados obtienen más grandes beneficios para asegurar su bienestar.
exacto. Very good. Okay, so as you see in this essay, we are contrasting ideas. What ideas? Advantages and disadvantages of staying in the old job or going to a new job. So it starts by mentioning two parts in the word, then it moves to giving advantages and disadvantages in the culture that value loyalty. Then the next paragraph, advantages and disadvantages in the culture where it is acceptable to change jobs. And finally, it summarizes the main ideas. Okay, so that is the way we can link ideas in a short essay that expresses opinion, to express opinion, and in this case, two opposite ideas. Do you have comments?
No, really, is some difficult for me, but I think it's only practice. It's simple.
Could you repeat, Paola? I'm sorry, couldn't understand.
Okay, teacher. I think is difficult for me.
Mm.
Uh, but I think it's only practice.
Yes, only practice. Okay, if you want to practice specifically the use of connectors in simple sentences, you can use this link. This link. Okay, but to practice in to write a text, you actually have to write it. Write the text.
Okay.
Okay, questions?
No, teacher.
All right. Some weeks ago, Daliana asked me to explain to you differences between American English and British English, right? So I just have here a couple of examples about the differences. We have different words. So in British English, we say nappy, and in American, diaper. The translation, you guys know what is the translation of diaper? It's pañal. So if you are in Great Britain, you will listen to the word nappy. And if you are in USA, you will listen to the word diaper. The same with the word holiday for British and vacation for American. Sweets, British, candy, American. Lorry, British, American truck. Timetable, British, schedule, American. Cooker, British, stove, American. Chips, British, French fries, American. Rubber, British, eraser, American. And flat, British and American apartment. It's like if we think about words that are used in Colombia, for example, in the coast, they say el foco. In Bogotá, we say el bombillo. In Cali, they say la chuspa. In Bogotá, we say la bolsa, right? In Cali, they say la tostada. In Bogotá, we say el patacón. Okay, so these this also happens in other parts of the world, right? So there are words that are associated to some parts, to some places. But as well as in Colombia, there are also differences in pronunciation. So people from the coast have a different accent than people from the south of the country, and people from Santander and from Cali and from Amazonas. Everybody in the country, in our country, have a different accent. The same happens between British and American English. So, for example, in British English, let's see. In British English, the double R is pronounced, the double T, sorry, is pronounced T. But in American English, the double T is pronounced R. So in American English, we say better. In British English, you will listen to the word better. Better. So this sound is T. No, are. So those are some differences between British and American pronunciation. What else? Regarding grammar, we have this difference. The verb have got and have. Right? So when we want to express that possession, we say have or have got. The difference is that have got is you use in British English and have in American English. So an American person would say, I have a car. And a British person would say, I have got a car. And the way to ask a question we have got is this. Have you got a car? For British people, and for Americans will be, do you have a car? Right? But the differences are not a lot in terms of vocabulary, in terms of grammar. They are not a lot. In terms of pronunciation, yes, they have a lot of differences. And the only way to identify it is to practice by listening to different accents. Yes, Carol, I can share those slides with you. I will upload them tonight to the virtual room. Now, sometimes when we write the spelling, there are some differences in the spelling too. For example, let's see. In British English, we write color with OU. In American English, we write color. So some words, the spelling of some words are also different.
But the pronunciation for the first is color or color.
Yeah, it varies a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so you see here that the pronunciation in American English is color. Right, now we are going to write here the British word. Okay, we have that for this word is the same pronunciation. Color, the same. But not for the word better. So you have here the pronunciation for American people will be better. And the pronunciation for British people will be better. Better and better. Okay. Do you guys have more questions about those differences?
No, teacher, I think it's like a try to catch the word in I don't know, como, memorizing the word in the moment when we are listening. For example, in a conversation, we are more, somos más acostumbrados to hear better than better. Better sounds a little bit weird. I don't know. I think it's more to training or ears to these kind of words.
Yeah, like it also is related to the to business, right? So we have a lot of movies that come from USA, not from Britain. So that's why we listen a lot of American English pronunciation, and also in the songs. Songs are also, we have a lot of influence from singers from North America. That's why it sounds weird for us to pronounce different.
Yes.
Okay, any question or comment?
No, teacher. No comment.
Okay, so I will upload the information, the slides tonight, so you can take a look at them. And we'll meet again next Tuesday. And this weekend, you need to upload your project, which is you need to think about a process, and you need to describe the process and use pictures to explain the process. Remember that last week we had some examples, the process of making flakes, recycling, making tobacco, making pizza, the process of getting hired in a school, any process that you want to explain related to your jobs or to food or to any product, how to make any product. But with simple sentences that you can write, using if it's possible, using passive voice. Yes. Okay, girls. So thank you for your participation, and we'll meet again next Tuesday.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, girls. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Have a
teacher.
nice
Bye,
time.
teacher. Bye, everybody.
Bye.